everyone. For our session today, we will be having least common multiples and greatest common factors, and also a little bit of introduction for fractions. Okay? So for this session, we will be dealing with LCM, GCF, and an introduction about fractions. Now, let's begin first with an LCM. An LCM is a least common multiple, the smallest number that is a common between two lists of multiples. So when I say multiples, what do you mean by multiples, by the way? What do you mean by multiples? What do you mean by that? For example, I'm gonna say, sir, what are multiples of 5? So you give me numbers nga pwedeng ma-divide og 5. Because if a number is can be divided by 5, then that number is divisible by 5. So mo ni pasabot natog multiples of 5. So going to our, for a while, let me connect my pen tab first. For example, if I'm gonna be writing the number 5 over here, the number 5, what are multiples of 5? Sir, 5, 10, 15, 20, so on and so forth. Those are multiples of 5. Okay? Now, who can give me multiples of 10? Anyone, please? What are multiples of 10? Yes, Clarissa. Go on, Clarissa. Clarissa.
10, 20, 30.
Okay, those are multiples of 10. So, just like what Clarissa said, sir, multiples of 10 are 10, 20, 30, 40, so on and so forth. So, let's go to our first example. Let us find the LCM of 12 and 18. Now, there are a lot of methods on how to get a multiple of 12 and 18, the LCM specifically. So the first method is you list the multiples of 12. So that's why I started with 12. Next to 12 is 24. Next to 24 is 36. Then 48. Then 60. This is how you get multiples of 12, like 12 times 1, 12 times 2, 12 times 3, 12 times 4, 12 times 5. Do the same thing with 18. So I'll be doing the same thing with 18. 18 times 1 is 18. 18 times 2 is 36. 18 times 3 is 54. 18 times 4 is 72. 18 times 5 is 90. Now, what number have you noticed the smallest number that is common between 12 and 18?
36.
There you have it. Maunay gitawag nato og LCM. The number 36 is the least pinakagamay nga common multiple sa 12 ug sa 18. Is our first example clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's proceed.
Yes, sir.
Let's have another one. So you have there an explanation, and you have noticed that the number 36 is common. Therefore, the first number, which is the number 36, is the LCM. Okay? Now, let's have another example. What about 9 and 10? Let's list multiples of 9. These are multiples of 9, right? 9, 18, 27, so on and so forth. Multiples of 10, 10, 20, 30, 40. Now, what is common there? What's the common multiple there?
90, sir.
Sir, wala
90.
siya, sir. So, okay, wala siya, sir.
90.
I-continue pa ni nato, right? O sa may next ni 72.
81.
81. Next to 81.
90.
90. And then next to 80 is 90. There you have it. Sir, ang LCM DI, sir, is the number 90. Okay? So, there you go. And there you have it. So, padayon, if ever walay common, then you look for another padayon sa multiples. Let's have another example. What about 4 and 12? What about
12, sir.
12? Let's explain nga nung 12. What are multiples of 4?
4, 8, 12.
4, 8, 12, 16. What are multiples of 12?
12, 24, 36.
Okay, 12, 24, 36. Now, as you can see, the first number there that is common between the multiples of 4 and 12 is the number 12 itself. So the LCM is 12. Okay? Let's have another one. What about 5 and 8? What about 5 and 8? Let's list multiples of 5. Multiples of 5, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30. So on and so forth.
45, sir.
Then,
30.
ang 8,
40.
we have 8, 16,
40.
24, 32, 40, and 48. So I'm gonna
40
continue. I-continue na ako ang 5. Butangan akong 35 o 40 so that I can see the least common multiple, which is the number 40. And that is the LCM for example number 4. Okay? So I heard someone said 40. That's totally right. The LCM is 40. Let's have another example. What about the LCM of 6 and 20? Okay, let's list first. List down ang multiples of 6. What are multiples of 6?
6, 12,
12,
18,
18.
24, 30, 36.
So on and so forth. That's totally right. What about multiples of 20?
20,
20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120. Now, you have noticed that there are no common multiples. So I'm going to continue with the multiples of 6. So multiples of 6, I'm going to proceed with 42, 48, 54, 60, and also so on and so forth. Okay? Now, you have noticed now that the number 60 is common. And that will be our answer, the number 60. Are there any questions about LCM?
None so far. None
Okay.
so far.
Now, later on,
No.
I'm gonna teach you another method after nasa GCF. Because this method is simply, I use this method in getting both GCF and LCM. Okay? So let's go to GCF first. The greatest common factor is the largest factor that two numbers share. Let's find the GCF of 12 and 42. First, we need to list all factors for each number. Again, we need to list all factors of each number. Now, what are factors of 12? Sir, factor of 12, 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4, 4 times 3. Di na nato balik ko ng 4 times 3 nga naman. Na naman na siya nakasuwat dito sa babaw. So we have here factors of 12 are naatay 1, naatay 2, naatay 3, naatay 4, naatay 6, ug naatay 12. These are all factors of 12. Do the same thing with the number 42. So I can have 1 times 42, 2 times 21, 3 times 14, 4 times how much? Is there a factor nga pwedeng ma-times sa 4 to get a number 42?
No.
Wala. So cancel out. What about the number 5? Is there a number na multiply ni mug 5, you will get 42?
Wala, sir.
Wala pod. What about the number 6? Naa, sir, 6 times
Yes,
7.
sir.
Correct. 7 times 6, but I'm gonna crush that out because it's already found above. So we have here all factors of 42. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 14, 21, and 42. Now, based on these factors, what is the greatest number that is common between those factors? Greatest factor nga makita nimo sa 12 ug sa 42. What number is that?
6.
The number 6. The common factors are 1. Ang common factor, sir, na ay 1. Sir, na ay 2. Na ay 3, sir. Na ay 6, sir. But the greatest common factor is the number 6. Okay? That's one method of getting the GCF. Let's have another one, 18 and 27. So, What are factors of 18? Who can give me factors of 18? Let's start with 1. So, lista, 1 times 18, 2 times 9, 3 times 6, 4 times, cannot be, wala. 5 times, wala pud na. You cannot multiply 5 with a certain number to get 18. 6 times 3, that's already gibalik na siya. So, I'm gonna stop there. Factors of 18 are 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, and 18. Let's go to 27. So, 1 times 27, 2 times wala, si 2 times something, 3 times 9, 4 times wala, i-multiply sa 4 to get 27, so cancel out. 5, wala pod. 6, wala pod. 7, wala pod. 8, samot. Number 9, 9 times 3, and that's already gibalik. So I'm gonna be having only 1, 3, 9, and 27 for factors of 27. Now, what is the greatest common factor between 18 and 27?
9.
The number 9. The number 9. So common factors are 1, 3, 9, but the GCF is the number 9. Okay? Let's have another one. GCF of 48 and 60. 48 and 60. So what are factors of 48? Sir, this one, 3, 4 times 12, 6 times 8. Ang 60, 1 times 60, 2 times 30, 3 times 20, 4 times 15, 5 times 12, 6 times 10. So, factors of 48, there you have it. Factors of 60. Now, what is the greatest common factor there?
4.
The greatest common factors. Sir, naay 1, sir. I-check nato si 1. Sir, naay 2, sir. I heard someone said 12. Let's verify that.
12.
Sir, naay 3, sir. Sir, naay 4. Sir, naay 6. Sir, naay 12. Naapay laing common factors din na? Wala na. So, therefore, your classmate was right.
12.
The number 12 is the GCF here. Okay? Now, let me introduce another way of getting the GCF of 48 and 60. So, I'm gonna be writing 48 and 60 over here. Now, let's do prime factors. So, I'm gonna start with the number, pinakagamay nga number, the number 2. So, what is 48 divided by 2? 48 divided by 2. 24.
24.
Do the same thing with 60. 60 divided by 2.
30.
30. Okay. Ang 24 og 30, ma-divide pa ba natog 2?
Yes, sir.
Pwede pa.
Yes.
So, gamiton gyapon ako si 2.
Yes, sir.
24 divided by 2, how much? 12.
12.
30 divided by 2. 15. Now, my question.
16.
Can you divide 12 and 15 by 2?
No.
So, Anita sa number 3. Can I divide 12 and 15 by 3?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So, 12 divided by 3.
4.
4. 15 divided by 3. 5.
5.
Okay. Now, napay common sa 4 ug sa 5?
Wala na, sir.
Wala na. Okay. To get the GCF, it's so simple. Ang GCF, i-multiply ra nako ang 2, ang 2, ug ang 3. So, kana siya, I'm gonna multiply that 2 times 2 times 3. How much is that? Hello?
12.
12.
By the way, am I muted? Am I muted?
No, sir.
No,
sir.
okay,
No,
it's
sir.
the number 12.
sir.
Now, to get the LCM, makuha sa na tong LCM ani. Ang LCM is so simple. Kining numbers nga naa diri sa side og numbers nga naa sa ubos, multiply everything. 2 times 2 times 3 times 4 times 5. How much do you get for that?
240.
Again, how much?
240.
240 is right. So the LCM is 240 for 48 and 60. So this is one method that I always use because right away, at a glance, I can get the GCF and the LCM as well. Let's have another example. I'm going to be getting the LCM between 36 and also the number 24. Okay, let's begin. What's common between 36 and 24? Let's begin with the number 2. Sir, pwede na sad, sir. Like, I'm gonna begin with the highest. I'm gonna start with the number 2 lang. Let's have prime numbers. 2. 18 divided by 2. No. 36 divided by 2. I already told
18.
you the answer. 18. 24 divided by 2.
12.
12. Okay. Is 18 and 12 divisible by 2? Pwede pa ba?
Yeah.
Yes.
Pwede
Yes.
pa si 2.
Yes.
18 divided by 2.
9.
9. 12 divided by 2.
6.
6. Now, ma-divide pa ang 9 o 6 by 2?
No.
Yeah.
No. I
No.
will have what number now? The number 3.
3.
Okay. 9 divided by 3.
3.
3. 6 divided by 2. 3. Okay. Let's get the GCF. Multiply these numbers. What is 2 times 2 times 3? How much is that?
12.
That will give us 12.
12.
To get the LCM, i-appeal na kung multiply ang 3 ug 2 sa numbers anang 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 2. How much is that?
72.
72. Oh, that's how you get the GCF and the LCM at one glance. Are there any questions here?
And so far.
None so far,
Okay,
sir.
let's now proceed to introduction to fractions. So, as you can see, you are very familiar with fractions already. It's just a matter of a review lesson on what fractions are. Let's have the definition first. Who can give me his definition? How do you define a fraction? Your own words. What is a fraction?
Answer.
Yes,
It's a
go.
part of a whole.
It's a part of a whole. That's totally right. A fraction is part of a whole. Dividing a whole into a number of parts, it's a fraction. Like example, I'm gonna have this rectangle. I'll divide it into 3 equal parts, and I'm gonna be shading 2 areas. What is the fractional part here?
1/2.
2/3.
2/3, because you have
Sorry.
you have nganong 2/3 man. So you tell me now, why 2/3?
Kuha man imong shade sa niya 3 ka parts.
Okay, there are all in all 3 parts, and I shaded 2 areas only. That's why I have 2/3. The number 3 is simply 1, 2, 3 parts in all. There are 3 divisions. The number 2 here is the shaded part. 1, 2. That's the shaded part. That's how you get fractions from figures like this. Let's have another one. Mixed numbers to improper fractions. Can you still remember what mixed numbers are?
Yes, sir.
What is an example of a mixed number?
1.5.
3.
1 and 1/2. Again, you said
yeah.
3 and
1.5.
3 and 1/2 is another example. Okay? So these are examples of mixed fractions. Now, my question, how do you transform this into improper? When I say improper, what do you mean by improper fraction?
Numerator is greater than the denominator.
That's totally right. The numerator is greater than the denominator. How do you transform mixed to improper? Do you still remember the concept here?
Times
Ah,
plus.
Okay.
Plus.
Times ang unsan man.
Ang denominator ang
to
whole
the
number.
whole
Ang tuog ang 3 human
Then plus
plus
Plus.
1.
Sa numerator.
So you'll be getting how much for this?
7.
7
7/3.
over
3.
3. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7 over 3. Just copy the denominator 3. Okay? Now, I will be sharing to you giunsa man pagkuha ang 7 over 3, sir. So, para ma-visualize nato, let's have this figure. Di ba this is 2 and 1/3? Do you get nganong na 2 and 1/3 ni saya? I have 2 holes. Awaha, kini means duha ka buok hole. It's a hole. 1 hole and 1 hole, meaning duha ka buok. 1/3, 1/3. Kakuha nga nung 2 and 1/3 ning diagram. Now,
Yes, sir.
I will be dividing these two kini siya. Ako ning tungaon og katulo. Convert the whole numbers into thirds. So I'm gonna be converting that. Kung pila ka divisions ako ang given kini siya, I'll be making 3 divisions here, 3 divisions here. If I'm gonna be counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that is our numerator. In our denominator, you already know that. That's the number 3. Okay? So that's how you get or transform mixed to improper fractions. So we have here another one. Kabaw na mo ana unsaon 5 i-multiply nimo ni 3 plus nimo ni 2, you'll get 17, then you copy the denominator 5. That's the simplest way on how to transform mixed numbers into improper fractions. Okay, are there any questions so far?
None so far.
Okay, let's continue.
So far.
Equivalent fractions. Do you still remember equivalent fractions? Sige, for you to remember what the concept is, let's have this figure. If I'm gonna be having this, an equivalent fraction is one that has the same value and position on the number line but has a different denominator. The same ra siyang value sa fraction pero laki ang denominator, laki ang numerator. So if I'm gonna translate that into visuals, look at this one. How do you write this as a fraction?
1/2.
1/2. That's totally right. Now I'm gonna be shading. I'm gonna divide this into 4 groups. How do you write this as a fraction? 2 over 4. You can see that. Sir, ang 1/2 ganiha, sir, is equal to 2 over 4. And I'm gonna divide this again. How do you write this as a fraction?
3 over 6.
3 over 6. So, gikan tag 1/2 ganiha, look at the concept. Gikan tag 1/2, na gitunga na ko into 4 parts, it's still 2 over 4. Parihas ra di ay ng 1/2, sir, og 2 over 4. Yes, the same ra na sila. And again, gitunga na pud na ko kaunom nga parts, and you said 3 over 6. And then, tungaon na nako, what's the fractional part now?
6 over 12.
6 over 12. So, kanang upat ka fractions are called equivalent fractions. Do you get the concept of equivalent fractions now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
Yes,
that
sir.
is about equivalent fractions. Let's go to this one. Let's just omit that. Multiplying by the special form of 1. Why does it work? Okay, let's just skip that. Let's just skip that. That's another way of getting equivalent fractions. So, there you go. Ang kanang 1 is 8 over 8. It's 25 over 25. It's 9 over 9. That's equal to 1. Those are equivalent fractions ni 1. There you have it. Now, finding equivalent fractions. How do we find equivalent fractions? It's so simple. Let's get the question mark here. What should be the number written in the numerator so such that kini siya is an equivalent fraction to this? What number should be written here?
12.
12.
Why the number 12? Sige, I'm gonna be writing the number 12. I'm gonna ask you this question. Why the number 12?
Kung sir, ang 5, multiply yung 4.
4.
Nakuha ang 20.
So, what will...
Yan, 3, multiply sa dag 4, 12.
Okay, that's totally right. Sir, ang akong gitanaw, sir, ang denominator nga 20 ug ang given nga 5 diri. Pila i-multiply na ako sa 5 to get 20, sir, I'll multiply it by 4. And I'll do the same thing sa numerator. So that's why 3 times 4 is 12. Okay? So that's why 4 over 4 ang gimultiply. That's 12 over 20. Okay? Let's have another one. What about 12 over 18? How do you simplify 12 over 18? So let's do factoring here. What are factors of 12 and 18? Sir, 2 times 6. 18, sir, is 3 times 6. Nakuha ninyo? 12 is 2 times 6. 18 is 3 times 6. And I can cancel out this. And the result will give me 2/3. Or I can do cancellation. Like, sir, I'm gonna be dividing 12 and 18 by the GCF. Pila GCF ni 12 ug 18? 6. So I'll divide 12 by 6. I'll divide 18 by 6. So to get that, I'm gonna be getting 2/3 for that. That's how you simplify fractions. Now let me give you more examples. I'm gonna be giving you 72 over 81. What is the GCF here?
9.
The 9. Okay. So meaning 72 divided by 9 is how much? 8. 81 divided by 9.
9.
This is the simplest form. If I'm gonna be giving you, like, for example, the number 32 over, let's have the number 128. What is the common factor between 32 and 128? You think now.
4.
No!
Again, how much?
4, sir.
4. Let's start with 4. Sige. Sir, divided by 4. Walay problema. Let's use 4. What is 32 divided by 4?
8.
8.
8, sir.
Okay. 128 divided by 4.
32.
32. Now, pwede pa bang masimplify ang 8 ug 32?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Pwede pa. Pila may atong i-divide, be?
4.
4 gapon, sir.
Let's have 4. So, why problema? Let's have 4. What is 8 divided by 4?
2.
2. What is 32 divided by 4?
8.
8.
8. Masimplify pa ba ning 2 over 4?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Pila
sir.
may i-divide na ako, be?
2.
Okay. Divided by 2. So, this is 1 over
Over
4. Or, in simple, kausahon ra nato, pila may day GCF sa 120?
32, sir.
Oh, very good. I-divide din na ko og 32 para kausara. Para kakuha ko 1 over 4. So, pwede ra jud ing ani inyuhang method, walay problema, or pwede ra puding ani inyong method, it's totally the same. Okay? Are there any